Hey, what's up guys? So, with the latest patch, Apex Legends, we also got the Battle Pass and Octane, but we also have a balance update for some of the heroes. We're talking buffs and nerfs, so let's go ahead and hop right into it. So, first off, we have some changes to the hitboxes for these heroes. Gibraltar, Caustic, and Pathfinder. It says that they adjusted the hitboxes for all of those heroes to better align with their shapes. The biggest buff, though, actually has to do with Pathfinder. Before, you couldn't really shoot in between his legs, and now you can actually shoot in between his legs, so that's a huge change for Pathfinder. In addition to in between his legs, there was also a change where basically he has these little things on his shoulders. You used to be able to shoot in between his head and his shoulder canister, and you'd get hit markers. So basically, he's gotten the biggest buff out of all of these. Gibraltar and Caustic, though, they've gotten adjustments for their hitboxes being a little bit smaller. But there's actually another buff with Gibraltar that I do want to talk about, which we'll get into when we get to it. So, as far as Caustic, he actually got a bunch of buffs over here. So, they have reduced the cooldown of traps from 30 seconds to 25. They increased the radius and proximity of it by 10%. That's across, well, his gas grenade is still technically the gas. It's the same type. It's just that it covers a larger area. But basically, 10% bonus on his gas. And then they also removed a 1-second delay on the smoke dealing damage to players, which basically comes down to an extra tick of damage. If you guys don't know how the damage works, it goes 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And once it's at 10, it'll just keep on ticking for that same amount. If you're wondering, does it stack? It does stack, but each one has its own separate integer. But anyways, what it really comes down to is that extra 1 second that you'll get will basically let you proc your ability to kind of see the outline of them a little bit sooner. So basically, you'll be able to see people a little bit better with it because you'll be able to see them 1 second earlier, which can actually be a pretty big deal. As far as his ultimate, though, it's got a 30-second cooldown reduction. So it used to be 230, now it's 2 minutes. So basically, flat out, just straight up buffs to Caustic. Now, I'm actually kind of curious because I've been playing for the past couple days. I still don't see that many Caustics or that many Gibraltars. They're still, I would say, the least popular characters in the game. It might be because they feel slower, even though it's a placebo effect. A lot of their arms, for all the animations, just feel a lot slower. But anyways, you guys can let me know if you're maybe more interested in playing Caustic now. Pathfinder actually got straight up a buff, not only to the hitbox, but with the insider knowledge. They've increased the number of beacons in the world from 10 to 12. So really what this comes down to is just more beacons. That's his ability to find out where the next zone is. Another thing that is not mentioned in the patch notes, however, it was technically fixed, so I figured I'd mention it here, is when he used to use his ability in the beacon, it would cause the game to crash, and that has been fixed. That was in another post, but I'm just including it in this video because I didn't cover it, because I felt like it was kind of dumb that you would try to use your ability and your game would crash. Welcome to games, man. But anyways, Bangalore actually took a big nerf over here. So Bangalore double time, they've reduced the movement speed bonus from 40% to 30%. This is when you would get shot at and basically you would be able to get free extra bonus movement speed. This is actually a pretty big deal because, well, movement speed is everything in an FPS game, especially if you can outstrafe people. Because a lot of people at lower sensitivities could not keep up. So even though this is a nerf to Bangalore, I don't think she's unplayable. But I know sometimes when one character gets nerfed, people are so dramatic, I'm never playing the hero again. But overall, it's just straight up a nerf to her. Now, there's also a nerf to Gibraltar here, strangely enough, but it's more so a bug. Anyways, the defensive bombardment, this is Gibraltar's ultimate where he calls down those explosions. Now, your teammates will be affected by shell shock, because before, I guess they wouldn't be affected. But anyways, shell shock is where you can't run, and basically your screen is all cloudy, and it's basically not a good time, I'll tell you that, that's for sure. But basically, they fixed that bug. Now, there's a bunch of weapons that actually got nerfed because of some of the changes. So, specifically going to the weapon changes over here. Now, I did also cover the Wingman nerfs recently, but the Wingman's still a good gun. Basically, they nerfed the fire rate in addition to the recentering of the gun. But anyways, that was in a patch before this update. But anyways, they've also changed two things that are pretty important for some of the players that like to do the animation canceling. So they fixed players being able to shortcut weapon swap by changing stance. Most people, what they did was they would just instantly crouch. So basically, when you would run out of ammo or you'd want to swap weapons faster, you would basically just crouch. This caused the game to just let you swap weapons just a little bit faster, which is actually pretty dirty. But in addition to that, they also fixed players being able to shortcut the Peacekeeper rechamber sequence. So this could actually make you not want to use the Peacekeeper. This is a huge deal for any of you guys that utilize the Peacekeeper and would basically use the Peacekeeper, shoot, swap weapon, and crouch, then swap back to the Peacekeeper. You'd actually be able to fire very fast, but this has been fixed. So that can actually make people not want to use the Peacekeeper. Let me know if you're going to not run the Peacekeeper specifically because of this. I know there are people out there that just love using it because it's fun too to animation cancel. But they also fixed an inaccurate auto ranging full screen sniper optics. Basically, if your FOV was not set to 80, you would have these numbers that would just display incorrect numbers. That was due to, of course, the game's not adjusting to the field of view. But there was another issue with Caustic. When you would have some legendary skins, you could just had your ADS view blocked. Like, that's a pretty big deal, but again, I don't think that there's that many people that play Caustic anyways. But they've also buffed the digital threat. So it says threat highlights are now more visible, slightly brighter, no longer affected by TSAA, which is a setting that is on PC. I'm not sure if you can even disable this on console anyways, but nonetheless, there you go. They also fixed a bug where devotion audio sometimes wouldn't accurately reflect rate of fire. These are just a lot of other smaller things that I'm going to go ahead and skip over some of the stuff that I feel like most of you guys don't care about, or that would be just so rare that it doesn't really matter. For example, they did, however, patch a hole in Gibraltar shield. You'd figure that that's a pretty big deal, but they have fixed it, so that's kind of good. They also fixed issues with the dropship where a player could get stuck on the dropship and be invulnerable. I don't know how that happened, but they fixed like a lot of these issues. Again, I'm not going to really mention them. But this one was kind of interesting. They limited the amount of Lifeline's dock drones that can connect a player to two. I don't know in what situation someone's going to be like, yo, enemy, use your healing drone, I'm going to use my healing drone, and yo, other guy, use your healing drone, and so I'm going to get 3 healing drone healing effects. Why do they even need to limit it to 2? I don't know. It maybe caused some type of a bug or something. I don't know. But either way, they have apparently patched this. Again, this is to a player, not multiple. But again, that's just a really weird thing. They also fixed Pathfinder zipline not deploying when jumping. Another issue that I wanted to mention that still technically exists in this game, there's an animation cancel that you can do with Wraith, where you would use your ultimate and then you basically mantle something and then you pop your basic ability. You can still do that in the game. This is kind of arguably an exploit. I would say it's still an exploit, but it's still in the game as of right now, at least as of today. It still exists in the game, but it doesn't like give you such a huge advantage to where I say it's like unfair. But going back to the gun nerfs, there's another exploit that people are doing with jitters. So if you guys don't know what that is, basically people are putting the Hemlock as well as the G7. G7 you don't even need to change it, but the Hemlock, it's a single fire, and they fire so fast that it becomes like a rapid machine gun. Basically it's inhuman stuff. Basically there's certain things that you can do in games. For example, in Fortnite, you used to be able to shoot a shotgun, do an emote, and then you shoot another shot really fast. Basically, these have been actually changed in the game, so you can no longer do some of these. But with the Hemlock, yeah, people are still doing those kinds of things. And it's not mentioned here, but I saw 2 people doing it today, so I'm thinking more and more people are going to be doing it, so I figured I would mention it. But there's a lot of other small things, and I'll link it down below if you guys want to read the other small like bug fixes, but I figured I'd mention the ones that I think are pretty important because I didn't know that there was a hole in Gibraltar shield. But this could make people actually want to use Gibraltar a little bit more. Now, in addition to this, this is not listed in these patch notes, but Pathfinder actually got a buff. Oh gosh, we're out of gameplay here. Let me just go back a minute here. Sorry, I didn't know where this video was going to be that long. But other important thing, Pathfinder. This is not mentioned in the patch notes, but you can actually use your grappler onto a zipline. So that obviously is straight up a buff to Pathfinder. Because, well, you can just grapple onto ziplines. It doesn't have to be yours or enemies. It could be just the neutral ones. So that's, again, just another straight up a buff to Pathfinder. In addition to those changes, though, I want to go over Octane really quick because there is a short little mention of what Octane's abilities do. And some of you guys might not know what he actually does and how much it actually heals for, which is important. So Octane, the new hero, his passive lets him heal after not taking damage, and it restores 1 health every 2 seconds. which is the part that I wanted to mention because we didn't know this previously. And then also the tactical stim, you move 30% faster for 6 seconds, and it costs health to use. How much health? I don't know, but you cannot actually knock yourself out with it. You can't keep on using stim to the point where you have 0 HP and like basically down yourself from that. I've tried it, does not work. Also, it costs health to use, but while active, it still lets you move faster than you normally would if you were to get hit by, let's say, a caustic or any like explosion. So it says Octane is affected less by attacks that cause slowdown. Specifically, it's the shell shock, and also in addition to that, it would be the caustic traps. And then as far as his ultimate goes, there's something that is not mentioned in here, but I'll mention it to you guys. You can actually shoot the little launch pad and destroy it. It can be yours or the enemy's. So basically, if you're looking to get to a high zone, basically throw it down, use it, and then you can destroy it so your enemy can't really engage you on that. There's a lot of other various stability and performance, basically just saying we fix an issue when it would crash, when it was like running out of memory or whatever. That stuff, again, if you guys want to read it, feel free to go ahead and do so. But there's a lot of quality of life changes that I felt like were important to mention. Specifically, they added sprint view shake setting under the video tab. You can set this to minimal, so basically when you're running, your screen doesn't shake as much. It's a thing that I've never really liked in games, but you know, you can adjust it. They also made it so you can swap the left triggers and right triggers. If you play on the controller on PC or console, you can do that. And they also added trigger dead zones and analog stick dead zones, responsive curve, target compensation, aim assist, and more. So you can really adjust all these little things in the game, which obviously help you out quite a bit. So overall, just more quality of life changes. It's not necessarily buffs and nerfs, but it is obviously a new update. So I do want to go ahead and go over those for you guys. But anyways, guys, that's it for the patch notes, as well as other things that I did want to mention. But if you guys want to read the full thing for yourself, you guys can go ahead and check it out down below. And obviously with Season 1, there's the new Battle Pass, as well as Octane. I already did cover those in previous videos, so you guys have not seen those, and you guys do want to check out every single legendary skin and stuff that Octane has, you guys can go ahead and check the pinned comment. I'll have that video, as well as every single item that's in the Battle Pass down below. Although, yeah, the Battle Pass is kind of disappointing. I ain't gonna even lie. But check it out, and I would honestly curious to how you guys feel about the Battle Pass, because everyone that I've been playing with, I've been asking them, hey, did you get the Battle Pass? And no, they're like, no, this Battle Pass sucks. I gotta agree with them this time, but I'm hoping Season 2 will be much better for the Battle Pass. But anyways, that's a video for another day. But if you guys want to check out those videos, I'll have them pinned down below. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like on it. If you're new to the channel here, want to keep up to date with all the Apex news, balance, nerfs, and buffs and stuff like that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and you'll definitely see more. But thanks for watching, guys, and peace.